Me.
You're good.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Rock Hard Podcast, where we are just going to talk casually about a bunch of things that we want to talk about. Specifically, music, metal, rock. How's your day been? Ahead, tell the folks.
It's been, it's been hard.
He's like, it's
been hard, dude.
It's existed,
I'm here for it.
All of it, all that stuff. Yeah. But I had a pretty good day. I got done with work pretty easily.
Yeah.
I didn't truly feel too good, so I've been really, really tired today. But it's all good. It's all good, man.
Hey, it happens.
Now, so what have you been listening to lately? That's what we're all wondering.
Man, I've been listening to a lot of As I Lay Dying. As I said before, probably one of my favorite bands.
Nice.
And
between us?
Actually, yeah, man, Osh, big time Oshes, dude. You don't mess with the Oshes, bro.
The Osh between us.
The Osh between us, man.
The Osh between us.
No, you know what? I'm a dirty rotten liar. I've been listening to a lot of Jelly Roll. Ever since you showed me Dead Man Walking, I have listened to pretty much everything that he has.
Like a lot of oh really? Nice.
Everything, dude. Everything that he's got.
So I was gonna jump down that rabbit hole, and then something caught my attention, and then we've been doing all this rock hard news, so I forgot to check out more Jelly Roll, but I still jam that song all the time.
Yeah. He all of his lyrics are so freaking deep, dude. I sat there and I listened. What was the song called? I even put up the damn quote about it, but I forgot. But it's a song he's talking about alcoholism, and to put a little of myself out there, I struggle with that, or have struggled with that in the past. And yeah, dude, I listened to that 3-4 times and cried like a girl. So
I have to just say, for anybody watching, I didn't just laugh at Evil saying that he struggled with alcohol.
No, he totally did. Don't let him lie.
He did not.
Doesn't care about me at all.
It was how it was said. It's the only thing that made me laugh. Sometimes I get myself in trouble because people are like, "What are you laughing at, dude? That's fucked up." No. It's not.
Laugh at me.
It's not the substance of. It's what happened around the content, all right? So, or the substance. No. Anyways.
Right.
So, it's been 7 years since Dimmu Borgir has released anything. Released an album. I believe it's been 7 years, something like that. Did you ever listen to Gateways when they put that out?
No, dude. My introduction to Dimmu Borgir was a song called Morning Palace.
Yeah.
And then the only other song that I ever listened to by them was called Serpentine Offering. And that was as far as I went with them. Not because I didn't like them.
Sure.
I actually really thought they were a good band.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just never went further than that.
I'm going to tell you something. The Serpentine Offering that right? That album, The Serpentine Offering? I believe that's what it's called. No, it wasn't. No, I'm an idiot. I think it was In Sorta, some shit. Anyways, listen. It was called something... And
yeah, I'm sure it was.
All right, and anyways, that whole album is amazing, super amazing. The drummer kind of blows me away on that album because he does some shit that's super fast, fast.
One of the reasons why I fell in love with the song Morning Palace is because there's 5 or 6 different time signature changes in that song. If you were to put that song on at any interval of time, you would think you're listening to a totally different song. And that's so cool of them. One of the other bands that's really known for their time signature changes throughout a song would be Metallica. And I'm a huge Metallica fan, so I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think my I want to say my first introduction to Dimmu Borgir was Piratina, and I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure that was it, and it's probably because of Bam Margera, the CKY videos that because I heard the song, I was like, who is that? And it was like Dimmu Borgir. I'm like, I've heard that name several times and never listened to them. Listened to Piratina, got that album that it was on, realized that album was amazing from start to finish. Then I got the Serpentine Offering album with Insortadia Boli or whatever album. That album was great, but and then I had got the Stormblast album. The Stormblast album is all in Norwegian. The whole thing.
Right.
And that's where I realized I just love this band because I don't give a shit what he's saying. It sounds great, even the vocals. And I don't know what you're talking about, dude, but it is amazing.
Whatever you're saying, I'm with it.
You know what? I want to say the name of a song off that album that I love a lot, and I can't. Not in my language. It's above my pay grade. I don't know that stuff. So.
Yes. Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But I was shown Dimmu Borgir around the same time that I was shown Behemoth, and I might ruffle some feathers, but you know, hey, I'm gonna give it to Dimmu all day, dude.
No, 100%.
I rock with Dimmu so much harder than I do Behemoth. Like if I'm being fair about it, the only song that I was introduced to from Behemoth was a song called Conquer All.
Yeah.
And I listened to it a bunch of times and I was like, oh, okay, they're cool. And then again, they were just one of those bands that I never decided to like venture out on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I really like that song, but I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, and moving on.
Well, it's like so with black metal, you got like, again, Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir are on another level from everybody else in the black metal scene. They stepped it up and they like evolved. You know what I mean? And that's where I have to give it to Dimmu on that one, man. Like, and they make amazing music, but they do not pigeonhole themselves as saying, okay, venturing out just a little bit and adding new things to it. You know what I'm saying? Isn't going against black metal, which I'm sure is within the scene. Like, no, you can't do that. That is not black metal. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you the people within the scene are like, no, you can't do that, or you have to get out of the scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's against the rules. They're like, man, fuck the rules.
Yeah.
You know, and I really like the shit they got going on, man. And the Gateways was a great album. But you can just hear that evolution.
Right.
It's really,
dude.
Really dope.
I think I'm honestly gonna have to go back and
I'll send you some of my favorite shit if you want, and then you can start there, and then you can go on the albums that's from, and then check them out. You know?
Do that.
All day I'm gonna do that.
So we've obviously talked about Cradle of Filth quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, what is it about that band, man, that just was like, yo, this is my band. This is like, I'm down with these guys 100%. Like, what was it about that band that just fucking resonated with you?
So at any point that I was really like, okay, so let me just put myself out there now. I have a bit of an anger problem. I get really mad. All right, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how to vent that out or whatever. And it's like, apart from just, you know, getting into a fight or something or beating it out of somebody. You know what I mean? What do I do? Well, Cradle of Filth was like always there to like, if I like just fucking went off to the songs and singing them and all this shit, and just cranked it up. In like 30 minutes, dude, I was 100% a calm soul. I was not mad anymore at all. It wiped it all away, you know, and enough of that, because I already just enjoyed the music a lot, and I always cranked it up, and I always thought it was awesome. And the evolution of them was great, because when they first came out, they're really rough, really crazy, all a little much, right? Little much, and so many albums, it's like Danny's like high, like howls and stuff were just all the time, and it was a lot of that, and it was really unorganized, but the idea of something great was there, And then they caught it. You know what I mean? I think after Her Cruelty and the Beast, after that album, it really started getting like tight. Scorched Earth Erotica was at one point where it got really good. And that sound, I'm not going to say, like, I got to be careful what I say because people listen to it and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But that style with that music video and everything else and that, like, feel of the song for Scorched Earth Erotica, I got the same feel with another song, From the Cradle to Enslave, right? Where it's like a horror movie, like the video's a horror movie, you know what I mean? The song is amazing. It gives you that feel. It's creepy. It's awesome. It feels real satanic. And, some little monsters going on and all this stuff. And then you got Her Ghost in the Fog, which in that succession, it's on different albums, but each you can see how they have just a little bit of similarity to that, like, creepy feel, awesome music. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's almost like you're watching a horror movie. In the video, but this one didn't have like the blood and all that blood and all that gore and all that, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But all that kind of captivated me, and how they changed for like the better, and they like honed in and dialed in. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm all in now. And then it like made my anger go away when I'd listen to it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, this is amazing. And it just ever started changing, and I just had like favorite songs on each new album that came out. It's like, I love this and this song. When I didn't think I could love any songs anymore, a new album came out with, you know what I'm saying, more songs that were just fucking amazing. Yeah. Then you listen to Danny and you realize how intelligent he is and how much thought goes into all this shit. And I mean, to me, they're like a whole package. They're not just a black metal band. They're telling like some intricate stories. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. They're not afraid to change. They're not afraid to evolve. They're not afraid, you know what I mean, to better themselves, and they don't pigeonhole themselves either, you know? And I just think as a band, you can look at them music-wise and admire it. You can look at them band-wise and admire it. You can look at them artistically and admire it. So, I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it gets more people into that type of music that wouldn't have really got into that music if it wasn't for someone like Cradle of Filth.
I mean, I definitely have to say that Cradle of Filth was probably a proper introduction into that, like, symphonic, like, black metal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting, though, and again, keep in mind, everybody, these are our opinions. Don't fucking jump down my throat just asking the question.
Unless he says something stupid and then jump right down his throat.
But so
sorry.
I feel like, you know, let's say, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Cradle of Filth, if you were to ask a metal fan, like, yo, give me your favorite bands, like top 5, it would be blah blah blah, Cradle of Filth, you know. I feel like as of recently, now, the pandemic and COVID could have a super huge fucking role to play in this, but I don't feel like they're in the conversation as much anymore. Like, not because of anything they've done, but I just don't feel like that presence is there anymore. Do you feel the same, or do you think, like, I don't know?
So So I see where you're coming from on that, but I feel like they are just, and this is just looking at their numbers and stuff, and the type of impressions they get, the comments that they get from the people, the views on their new videos and stuff. It's all still right there. The problem you're having is you're not a teenager anymore. And a lot of people learn a name of a band, and they kind of know about them, but they don't know shit, and they don't listen to them ever. But they throw it out. Like, everyone did it with the Misfits.
Yeah.
Everyone that wore Misfit shirts probably never even listened to one song.
Yeah.
And if they did name you a song, it wasn't even from the Misfits. Like, that's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the same thing was happening with Cradle of Filth, I feel. There were some kids that I met that were like, yeah, I'm all goth, you know what I mean? Cradle of Filth shirt all the time. Right. But then they would say something stupid, like compare him to Marilyn Manson and stuff, and I'm like, you can't listen to Cradle of Filth and like think that at all. Like, not at all. Like, I don't.
No,
there's no
not.
comparison.
They're not the same. Like even a little bit.
No,
like at all.
Other than wearing white on their face, that's about the closest that you can say. You know what I mean? Okay, they both wore black lipstick at one point and having a white face, and it's close as you can compare them to. Like, you can't compare them. You know what I mean? That's my point. Yeah. So, like, I think there was a lot of posers. There was a lot of people that just put that in their resume to fill in bands that they weren't listening to.
Well, dude, that's not to cut you off, but that's like 1000% how I feel about fucking Slayer fans. And so fucking if you talk to any run of the mill fucking Slayer fan, oh, what's your favorite song? Rain in Blood. Come on, man. Come on, dude. And
what's your favorite album? South of Heaven.
South of Heaven, right? Like, like, ask me what my favorite Slayer album is.
What's your favorite Slayer album?
No Mercy.
Nice. Cool.
It's their very first album. Like,
there you go, man.
That album is fucking fantastic.
Sure.
Like, and like, there's not a lot of people, like, you sit there and go, so, you know, what do you like by Slayer? And it's like you said, like, the South of Heaven, fucking Raining Blood, fucking all the generic, like, shit that you've heard a million goddamn times.
Yep.
Like, you know, there's more to this band than just Raining Blood, right? you know that.
Oh yeah, people just they learned these popular bands from each little subgenre.
Yeah.
To like fill out, you know what I mean? And I don't know why people do that. Like, why would you want to name a band but never check them out? Like, it never like went through your mind to actually fucking listen to the band?
Because at that time they were the band to talk about. So rather than admitting you don't know anything about them and looking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all about fucking acceptance, dude.
Well, my point is you wouldn't be the only one they've been saying that to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but nobody wants to be that kid in your group of friends who has no fucking clue what you're talking about. Sure. So then when the question gets posed to you, you're like, fuck yeah, I know all about him.
Yeah. You're right, man. You're 100%.
And then you have that asshole friend who will fucking G-check you on this shit. You don't know shit.
That's right. How it should be.
You know.
How it should be, you know? Right?
Yeah. Like, okay, so without going too far off topic, but something that 100% ties in with that whole thing.
Sure.
So, I got into a fucking, like, online text battle with some fucking dude, and he's sitting there telling everybody, it was on a post about Dimebag Darrell.
Okay.
And somebody had mentioned something about Kiss.
Okay.
And this dude was like, only posers and freaking, you know, pussies listen to Kiss. I was like, hold up. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I'm shot in the dark here. Stupid question. You're a Pantera fan, yes? And he was like, well, no shit, dumbass. I'm on a Dimebag Darrell post. I was like, okay. So you realize, like, well, let me guess, like, Dimebag's your favorite guitarist? Well, yeah, he's one of my heroes. Okay, are you aware of who his hero is? No. Okay, well, it's one of those pussies that you were just talking about from Kiss. It happens to be Ace Frehley, you know? And I'm sitting there and I'm going back and forth with the kid, right? And he's like, well, you know, at least I never have to worry about Pantera throwing on makeup and dancing around in heels and tight clothes and all that. And I was like, dude, you're wrong again. You're wrong again, bro. I was like, when Pantera first started, they were a glam band. No, hell no. No fucking way. Pantera was a bunch of pussy. I was like, bro, it's okay. You're wrong. like nobody seems to know this, but their hero, and I'm not, let me make this clear. I am not shitting on Dimebag at all. But Dimebag used to be Diamond Darrell.
Right.
That's what he went by, dude.
Look at his old haircut too, man. Like it screamed glam rock.
Bro, they were a 100% glam band when they started.
Yep.
They went heavy. Basically when Phil was like really given the chance, that they were like, yo, let's try this and see what happens. Like,
oh, and while we're just talking about Pantera real quick and Phil, can we just throw in that he's not a racist and people have that all wrong? And that they need to quit with that bullshit because he made an accidental mistake where he was I think he did the Heil Hitler or whatever at some Nazis because he was pissed off at them for saying some shit to him, and it really looked like he may have been saluting them. In hindsight, it was a stupid fucking decision, but he's not a racist. Like, people need to shut up with that shit. He's not a racist, dude. You know, he may have been a lot of things. Racist, not one of them.
As the saying goes, we all do dumb shit when we're fucked up. And apparently he was super fucking drunk. And let me look, I'm not trying to cover up for the guy. What he did was wrong. We all know it was wrong, but let's put it this way. You give anybody, especially a fucking world-renowned fucking metal vocalist, you give a guy a mic with a platform who's fucking shit-faced, and what the fuck do you expect? like, you know, in front of a crowd, fucking drunk as hell. Come on, man.
Well,
like,
he was going at these guys, so it wasn't what he did was wrong. It may have looked wrong, but the intention is what makes it not wrong. He was going at these guys, and it was supposed to be sarcastic. It was supposed to be facetious. It really looked the opposite. The delivery was horrible, and it was in front of a bunch of people. Therefore, this spirals down, gets in the hands of others, and now he's, you know, and then he's a racist. You know what I mean? Phil has been an asshole. Phil has been a lot of things, but Phil is not a terrible guy. He's not a terrible person. He's not a fucking racist. He's made his mistakes. He's been an asshole. He's been drunk, whatever. But stripping away all this guy's like great qualities on bullshit lies is stupid. Like, we can't keep doing that. Like, and I love it's not just because I love fucking Pantera that I want to stick up for him, but I do want to put this on record by somebody else, because everybody that talks about it keeps talking about his racist past. I cannot call the man a racist. It's not a racist past. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Right.
They have, and not the defense for them, they have had some racy type of material, I guess, when it comes down to it. I think they had a poster, and the poster had a fucking skull, and the skull had a snake going through it, and it had a KKK hat on it, and it said Brotherhood, right?
Right.
That's kind of an issue. And bad delivery on a point trying to be made.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if you don't know anything about that, or you know what I'm saying? You know, that whatever the fuck, and then you link it with what people are saying about him being a racist, you would like, hell yeah, that's a white supremacist band all day long. And it's just not true. It's not the facts. Look into it. If you're wondering about it, look into it. Look up Phil, get into him, and realize he's not the monster, and he's not a fucking bastard. People say a lot of fucked up shit about him, you know what I mean?
Like, so. I guess, okay, so to wrap up that whole thing and to basically bring it all back in, the point of that was to basically go, it's okay to admit that you're wrong, or it's okay to admit that you don't know as much as you think you do. Sure. Or it's okay to admit that you don't know shit. Like, you can be like, yo, I don't really know, fucking educate me, tell me about it. Nope. Like, you know, so basically my whole point about bringing that in is like we were talking about Cradle of Filth. Like, I feel like I agree with you when, you know, I feel at that time that Cradle of Filth was that band. Everybody was fucking talking about them. Fucking, you know, you had the middle school kids fucking rocking the Cradle of Filth shirt and the fucking trip pants, and, you know, like, Cradle of Filth, you know. But, like, it's like I said, nowadays it feels like everybody's kind of, at least to me, it feels like everybody's kind of just, like, moved on from it. Like, I don't know.
They may have, and I think they've been abandoned in a sort of way, other than the diehards and the people that stuck with them, by the black metal crowd.
Right.
Because they have ventured out and done other things. A lot of people don't like when bands do that shit. And it kind of makes me upset because I'm like, what do you think they're supposed to do? The same old shit forever? And they can never expand their art form? You know what I mean? But when they do, and they do things out of their genre, bring stuff from out of their genre in, people get mad, they turn on them, and they lose that crowd. But their fan bases, it spans way out of black metal, which saved them. Because imagine if they didn't span way out of black metal, and then they did something to reach out, and everyone abandoned them. They'd been fucked. You know what I mean? But they have reached everybody, and I think that's amazing, because I'm telling you, I found their album in the pop rock section of Best Buy. You know, that's insane. I'm like, and you're black metal, like, you're not supposed to be here, and you are here. You know what I mean? And I think they've done an amazing job of that, but I think they've just been abandoned in either. I don't know, man. I don't think these days, the kids that when we were kids are not the same. They're not listening to the same shit, you know?
No,
and even a lot of the new rock coming out nowadays has a lot really heavy, hard hip hop influence to it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not against, because a lot of it's really good when you add them together and you do a good job and it meshes well. I love it. And I think they're doing an epic job of merging a lot of that, because a lot of it does go together, and I think it needs to be more accepted on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's, Cradle of Filth is that band, but I think their fans are like the fans that have stayed with them forever.
Like I said, like I don't really. Again, my whole point is I don't really think that they've lost it. I think that maybe just people have moved on. I
think so.
And that's really shitty for a band. Like, it's like, now maybe they have I don't want to say something to prove.
Like in my rebuttal to it, it's not that, it's that the conversation has changed, but their following is still good. They're still fine. They're still fine with their numbers. They're selling out great shows. They still are that band. It's just the topic of conversation in the world, the climate, that's changed, and they're not in that conversation anymore. But they don't need to be. You know what I mean? And they're not in a shitty situation whatsoever. The only shitty situation they've been in was COVID, because they rely heavily on live shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they do a great job in live shows, and that's what everyone looks forward to. And that's where a band makes most of their money.
Right.
Merch, or maybe not even if the fucking, you know what I'm saying? But if they're selling their own merch and they can, that money and live, because usually you don't make shit from CDs, and now there is no CDs to make money off of. It's all, digital, which is way easier to steal. So, you can't rely on album sales, Those numbers are just to show you that you're doing
right. Right. Which is kind of dope, by the way, because I really like the fact that that vinyl was starting to make a comeback. Like, I don't know, like I think vinyl records are dope, dude. Like, even
I like vinyl.
Like just to have, like, you don't have to have a fucking record player to be stoked about a fucking album. Like, I don't know, like,
sounds different, bro.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's beautiful, man. I love it, dude. I love listening to modern music on record.
Right. Right.
That shit
and it's
crazy.
It's crazy to think, like, how many of these new modern bands have put out vinyl records. Like, it's like, what? No one would have ever thought you would have a vinyl record, but it's dope as fuck that you do.
Yeah, every one of them has a vinyl record, But yeah, they still make a comeback because everyone's still buying vinyl. So it's like they made that comeback, and then they just steadily are in the culture, and I think that's great. Fuck it. Why throw that away? You know what I'm saying? Because, tapes, no one fucking, tapes are never making a comeback, and CDs probably won't either. Definitely not Laserdisc. So,
right.
Records, dude, we just need to keep that, because that's something that is really important in music, and it's important to experience the sound like that, because it's weird. You wouldn't think about it. You listen to something from a computer, like, there's no pops, there's no clicks, it's perfection. But them pops and them clicks sometimes make the music what it is, man. It just sounds so good.
Nostalgia, man. Like, nobody's ever sat there and been like, hey, look at my tape collection. Like, everyone's like, yo, look at my vinyl collection. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think it's cool.
So, you know what? Since we're talking about just a little on the spooky side, a little on the dark gothy side, what really just made you love Typo Negative?
Fucking Peter Steele. 100%, dude. Peter Steele. Like, okay, so the first song that I was showed by them was Black Dye #1, mm-hmm. and it was catchy, but at the same time it fucking annoyed me. Like the chorus part, the black, and I was like, what in the fuck? Like, why? Like, but I am so glad that I gave this fucking band a chance and didn't just write them off from that, because that would have been the dumbest thing I could have done. Yeah, 100% Peter Steele. Like, dude is just a fucking monster of a singer, monster of a guy, like, in general. But, like, his creative writing, the fact that he was able to take, like, you know, those slow, haunting, like sometimes even funny elements and put them into a song and just, you know, capture you from the moment the guy opened his mouth and started singing. It's like, whoa.
I'm a big fan of that sound.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the low.
Yeah.
And the beautiful vocals coming in. But honestly, dude, if you haven't, definitely, now that you know Peter Steele, get into the members of that band. Get more into them, dude. They're all amazing. They were an amazing group of guys, and together they made some great stuff. They were hilarious. You know, like they are amazing. The vibe and the chemistry is like no other.
And like the thing I like about Peter too is not just his voice, but like, you can tell, like, those certain voices whenever that person opens their mouth, there's no question about who it is.
Yeah,
exactly who it, like fucking Peter Steele, like Lemmy Kilmister, like Ronnie James Dio, like fucking Ozzy. There's no mistaking who the fuck is singing. But the thing that I really liked about Peter was his fucking bass tone. Like, there's no mistaking that bass tone.
Nope.
Like, you can't fool me and be like, oh, this is another band. I'm gonna be like, bullshit, that's Peter Steele. Like, that's his, like, oh man, he just took the bass and, like, really made it the star.
Yep.
And you don't find that in a lot of bands, dude. Like, you know.
No, him and I'm Primus.
Him
and Les Claypool, dude, they like really make the bass like what it is.
Right. Well, who the fuck, man? The last time we were talking about bass players, I was trying to remember this guy's name, and I should know this.
From what band?
Iron Maiden. And everyone's gonna shit on me for this because he's like he's like one of the most famous bass players of all time. Like, and I can't remember his goddamn name for some reason. So it is 100% Steve Harris.
Okay.
Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. I don't
Look,
know.
I didn't know that. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
I don't know. I should have, and it pisses me off.
I should have too. But there are some bands where I honestly just love the band and I love their music and I listen to all this shit and I don't know any of their names and I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I just don't give a shit. I don't know what it is that separates why I do and why I don't. Sometimes I never just learn them. So when people are like, what the fuck is the name? And it's like, no, but I love that band. They're like, you don't know any of their names. I know I seem like a fucking moron, and you know what? I probably am.
Yeah, but like so guys like fucking Steve Harris and Les Claypool, mm-hmm. Peter Steele, Geddy Lee from Rush,
yes.
Geezer Butler from fucking Jesus Christ, Black Sabbath. Why? Brain farting.
Geezer.
Yeah, Geezer. Oh, Geezer Butler.
Giesner.
But like, you know, those guys really found. Oh. And I know I'm gonna get flamed if I don't mention this guy. Probably one of the most recognizable and arguably one of the best people to ever touch a bass. Cliff Burton from Metallica. Rest in peace, Cliff. I was gonna get smashed if I didn't mention Cliff. I know it. How could you forget Cliff?
He was amazing, as he was an amazing person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
hell
saying?
of a guy.
Hell of a guy. Man. Died too young, man.
Way too young.
Fucking
and
legend, dude.
You know what? To go off on a small little curve here, I've asked people this question, so I want to ask you now.
Yeah.
What do you think Metallica would sound like today if Cliff were still alive? Like, cause he just brought a whole different.
I mean, I'm sure the bass lines. I don't know that it would be much different because I think the direction they were going is where they were going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think it would have made much of a difference. I think he would have been just as down with everything they were doing, and he would have, you know what I'm saying, I think it would have stood out more. His parts would definitely have stood out more, and there would have been differences, and it probably would have been just a little more epic. Not to take away anything from their bassist now, but
yeah. Rob
come on,
Trujillo.
Cliff, dude. You know, it would have been there would have been difference, but I don't know that it would have been much different.
So I think it's kind of ironic in a way because I saw the interview where when Metallica was trying to replace Jason Newsted, and Lars was sitting there talking, and he was like, you know what? I can't say with any amount of certainty. He was like, don't get me wrong. I fucking miss Cliff. I miss Cliff every day. Yeah. But I gotta be honest. He was like, the way that the band has progressed and the way that the band is blah, 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 you know, he was like, who knows, man? Maybe Cliff wouldn't have been the guy for the job. And it's like,
it's possible, though.
It's possible, though, right?
Possible,
but it's just like, it's like, man, to hear that coming from fucking, you know, it's like, wow. Like, you wouldn't expect to hear something like that from your own guy.
Well,
like, you know what I mean?
Cliff didn't make the necessary changes with his vision the way they have, it would have definitely been just like that. They would have had to part ways. But if he could have changed his, you know what I'm saying, vision right along with him, then he would, you know what I'm saying? He would be the guy for the job. It just wouldn't be because they changed this way. He wasn't the man for the job, but it may have happened that way. And he does have a point there.
You
never know, man. You never know. But it sucks to say things like that because you don't want to seem like you're like disrespecting your fucking your idols.
Your boy,
shit,
man.
Yeah,
your boy.
Right. That's my boy, Blue. I wouldn't talk shit about you, you know. But truth is the truth, I guess. You know.
Yeah, but no, getting back to Typo, man. Like, probably have listened to, you know what, dude, I think love her to death. I have no bullshit. I'm not exaggerating. I promise you.
Love you.
I have literally listened to that song on repeat 8 times in a row before I turned it off. I love that fucking song from start to finish.
So, like I told you before, but I haven't said it for the podcast, the first Typo Negative song I heard was also Black, #1, but it was covered by a band that I was in Battle of the Bands with. Oh, shit. Yeah, they won. They won. They were great. They were great dudes. They were awesome. Dude, They came in 5 minutes before they went on stage. We had been there all day. They came in 5 minutes before, set up everything in 5 minutes, got on there, played their fucking hearts out, did an amazing job, switched up instruments, played more amazing shit, covered Typo Negative. I was like, that song's amazing. Friends like, that's a Typo Negative song. What? So, went, listened to it, you know, but the first song that I heard Typo Negative do that got me was Love You to Death.
Yep.
That song, I love that song. The song hits, man. It slaps.
Yeah. It's everything about it. And, like, I found myself more drawn. It's crazy. Like, I found myself more drawn than anything to the keyboard in that song. The keyboard is just so haunting and perfect. Like, I was like, oh, man.
Yep.
Like, I've really come to appreciate all instrumentation. Like, I'm a guitar player first, but like when I think that's one of the great things about, you know, maturing as a musician is when you really come to appreciate everything about the band or the music, like, you know. And like I said, for me, like, all props and sincerity and love to Peter, but it was the keyboard that got me on that song.
You know, it's when a band like that, honestly, they were rough around the edges on a lot of songs. Like, if you heard like one of the crazier songs, you're like, what the fuck am I listening to? That can take it and give you a song where it's dark, it's heavy and not. Yeah. It's romantic.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That romantical, seductive feel.
Yep.
Such a good song. Such a good fucking song. And I would follow that up with saying, like, another song that I love a lot is it's not just Blood and Fire, because I have to go ahead, because Blood and Fire is amazing, but I Don't Want to Be Me. I love that song. I love that song so much, you know?
Yeah.
And the gank vocals in there that he does, that they do, they're really fucking good at. They have the best when it comes to that shit, you know? Dude, there's Typo Negative is amazing, dude, and you dive into them, and it's amazing. And towards the end, when they came out with September Sun, like, you could tell there was something wrong with Peter, because he was skinny.
Right.
When I mean skinny, because he was a fucking truck of a man.
The guy was a fucking behemoth of a dude, right?
Dude, yeah, and he just looked, you know, I was like, who the fuck are you, man? You know, like, oh my God, you look terrible. You know? I saw an interview where I think I think he said in one show he had drank like fucking like 5 bottles of red wine. I'm like, good God, like, Jesus. The problem with Peter, man, is I don't know if it was, but it had to be. He was super emo, man. Like, I mean, for real. Before emo existed, he was 100% depressed as shit. And if he wasn't depressed, then it just I don't know if it became a habit after that to want to die. But I've never
he talked
heard
about
a guy wanting to die more than Peter Steele. Wanting to be dead, but never committing suicide. So it's like, was it because like you just couldn't bring yourself to fucking off yourself? Or was it where you know what I'm saying? And so you did things that would result in your death over time. But he took great care of his body, other than putting alcohol in it.
He's fucking jacked.
He was jacked. He would work out like a motherfucker, dude. He was in Playgirl magazine. Like, he confused me because he seemed really sad, but his music and the way they were so fun and funny and shit, that kind of seemed happy, but he wanted to die. He took good care of himself. So I just don't know. Well, I mean,
one of the things that a lot of people would say about him is like they got like I don't know how to fucking put it, but like vampire syndrome around him, and basically
vampire syndrome around him,
like, well, meaning basically like when they saw him or when they heard him speak or sing, they became fucking, mesmerized by the guy. Like,
I can understand that because he pulls off that vampire thing very
well.
Like, it is him. Like,
to
the point that I remember telling you the story, but I'll, just real quick touch on it. That the guy I met at the bar really thought that they were from Romania or some shit. Like, they're from Europe or whatever. I'm like, they're from the Bronx, dude. They're from Bronx. Bronx, New York.
Or
Brooklyn or whatever. Brooklyn. Yeah. and he was either Brooklyn or the Bronx. I don't know, but yeah, and we almost got into a fight because of it. Like, he just could not believe it. He's like, "Oh, it's a vampire. He's a vampire. You know an American from New York that sounds like that? Yes, Peter Steele."
Yeah, Peter Steele, dude.
So he wasn't happy with me, but I ended up being right. He's an idiot. So
yeah, you were Typo Negative, American Gothic metal band formed in Brooklyn, New York, 1989.
There are 100% vampire personalities in the world, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. I went to a club. It's a goth club called The Castle. I go there. There's a guy who looks just like a vampire. Like, he's dressed up as a vampire. He is a vampire, right? But when you look at him, you're like, yeah, that's a real, like, he gives me real vampire vibes. Then you talk to him, you're like, this guy is awesome, but really creepy because he was like fucking almost 60 probably. You know what I mean?
Looked great.
He looked amazing, dude. Top hat, like his eyes were the shit. He had this fucking walking stick, dude, and he had this gay as shit, obviously, because he had this this slave like guy who was like his vampire, like like Igor. Like his Igor. I mean, I don't know what else to call it, but a slave, whatever. Like, what, this guy was like, his makeup was like all that corpse paint and shit, but it was like not like him. But this guy was like smooth, charismatic. It made you like, yeah, dude, you're fucking awesome, dude. You know what I mean? He just like struck you, and I was like, yeah, you're definitely a real vampire because you have the whole personality of it. And I think that's all it takes,
Yeah.
Because they hold vampire nights at this place, and I wanted to go. Be part to see what's up because they tell you all about vampirism and they talk about all this shit and I don't know what they do in there because they never let me in, and I was like, dude, I want to go in so bad, dude. And my friend got to go in, but I didn't. Like, we weren't there at the same time, but he got in there because he knew some people, but they won't let you in there if you don't because you're not allowed to be there. It's super secret. Fuck you, fuck off. And that's why I wanted to be in there. They got people guarding the fucking door and everything, and I'm like, there's so behind this door there's like 50 or 60 vampires? Is that what you're telling me? Like, open the door! What is this? I want to learn. I just think it would be super cool, you know what I mean? But
yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, there are some people that scream vampire. Peter Steele was one of them. This guy was one of them. I've only, dude from 69 Eyes also gives me those great vampire vibes. Saw him live. He still gives them to me, so.
Right. Like most of the interviews or reaction videos that I've seen, people are like, "Oh, he's got to be from like Transylvania. He's got a real like. Is he going for Count Dracula? Like it's like, no, motherfucker. That's just Peter Steele. It's
sometimes he talks in an accent with certain words to make it more spooky and dark, and people take the one time he rolled an R and it's like, that's it. Not American.
I was just gonna say, my man rolled an R one time, and they're like, "Oh,
that's it, dude."
His name is Vlad. It's gotta be.
Yeah, whole album he did it once. It's it. Transylvania it has to be, Fucking Romania, here we come. God damn.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. People are ridiculous. I'm just gonna go. People are ridiculous when they have something in their head or they get like false information or whatever. They like go full force with it,
Oh yeah.
And they never bother to like check it out, cross-reference. They never. And it's funny because it's like if you love this band so much, you would have like looked into something and be like, I wonder where they're actually from. Where were they born? I wonder like what happened. Where's an interview? Can I watch some? Because you want to get more and more shit from the bands you love. Like I've never just listened to a band, be like, yeah, I love this band, and never watched a fucking interview ever. Like I've never been like that. It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
How these people miss it for all these years and then tell you what a super fan they are and then just give you all this misinformation. Right.
Oh yeah. Like I had like to touch on that real quick. That dude, that I used to, like I said, I used to be a super huge fan of Kiss. Not gonna lie,
right.
Was a big fan.
We all know that now.
And like I had that conversation with somebody where they were like, "Oh yeah, well, what name the members of Kiss?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, so fucking Stanley Eisen, Paul Fraley, Chaim Witz, and Peter Criscola. And they're like, "No, dumbass, it's Peter, Gene, Ace, and Paul. And I'm like, no, dumbass, you said to give me their names. So I gave you their names.
Right.
Fucking tell me I'm wrong. You're wrong about shit. I'm 100% right.
Bro. What? That's because so many people, again, it's because so many people pose on Kiss. They never listen to them a day in their life, but have like 15 shirts. And the only thing they ever know is that they want to rock and roll all night and party every day.
Party every day.
Or if you're talking to Paul Rudd, it's part of every day.
I want to rock and roll all night and part of every day.
Yeah, you gotta get some of this shit done. Like, you can't get nothing done if you're just partying all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Shout out the role models.
Hell!
Great movie.
Bro.
Good times.
No, it's amazing times, dude. It was about time we talked about Typo Negative and touched on them, dude. But since we're touching on them, let's just go right into him.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Right.
So I'm definitely guilty of. You know what? I'm not. No. You know what? I'm not gonna put that on me because I think like half the world's guilty of really knowing about him because of Bam.
Oh yeah, 100%.
1000%.
Let's just say I'm a sad dude, right? These days because of what's happened to Bam.
Right.
I get it and I understand and I feel for him, man. But I'm so sad because like, dude, we all looked at Bam and was like, man, dude, I would love to be him. You know what I'm saying? God, he lives the best life. You know?
For real.
But really, it was the exact opposite. He wasn't living the best life because that life would result in all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight's fucking 20/20. You know what I mean? Maybe some things should have been done differently. But Bam was an awesome motherfucker, dude. He still is. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he has some work to do and a lot of things to admit and be real with himself. But fucking awesome dude. So I used to watch CKY all the fucking time. Like, you know, to me, Jackass was Bam Margera. Like, I loved fucking Bam. You know what I mean? And then CKY guys, because they were doing all this Jackass shit first. You know what I mean? Right. So him, Ryan DiCamillo, and Rab himself, and
Brandon DiCamillo.
Yeah, Brandon. What did I say?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Dunham, man, and Brandon DiCamillo.
You're good.
God. So I learned about him from CKY 2K.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking, like I said, I'm not going to get too far off, but just fucking CKY, dude. The band, CKY.
Woo! Love them, dude.
Fucking love them.
I
love
them, dude. They're like awesome. Their sound is one of a kind.
Fire.
Yep.
Fire.
And since a lot of their shit is all through CKY in the movies, you know what I'm saying? It also has that nostalgia. So every time I hear it, I'm like, those. Yeah. I loved those times. You know, I loved those times. Like, but hearing these bands sometimes for the first time, like, sometimes it's like, damn, you can never relive that. You know what I'm saying? That feeling now. You've heard them now. Right. It's over. It's it. It's died.
It's over. You did it.
Moment fleeted. No, it's good.
Yeah, dude. But like I said, I'm 100% guilty of it, but I don't fucking care. Like they like, I think my very first hymn song. Oh, if I can remember, what the hell was it? What was it?
Now, him was definitely amazing live. Him has been amazing forever. I did not like him the first time I saw the album cover for Razorblade Romance. It wasn't until I saw it, I heard them on the CKY 2K, and I even liked them. I saw the album cover, it's like, fuck that, this looks ridiculous. This looks like something I'm not into. I was so fucking wrong, because I am a fan of the 80s and the 80s love songs, and you give me new age rock with 80s love songs, vampire-ish feels, you've got me 100%. And Villavalo is like, just fucking awesome. Such a rock star, dude. His look is amazing. He's just fucking awesome, dude. His whole package is just great, dude. Villavalo is fucking awesome.
Villavalo is a cool ass motherfucker, man.
Fun fact: my pre-named for a boy, if I were to have had them, would have been Vallo.
I remember you telling me that.
Was going to completely name If I Had a Son after Villavello.
Nice.
Yep. One, I think that's an awesome fucking name. Dude, you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah. So the first song that I heard by them was their cover of Wicked Game.
No, there you go. Oh, okay. You should have said cover and I would have fucking spurted it out of my mouth. Probably should have said that.
And then the, where is it? Ah, there it is. I heard this one because, again, like we already fucking discussed.
Was it Pretending?
Was it what?
Was it the song Pretending?
No, sir.
I just had to guess real quick.
It was off of Venus Doom. It was Dead Lover's Lane.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
And the reason that I heard that was 100% from watching Viva La Band. Like, he's like, hey, man, go get the new H.I.M album, pop it in the Lambo, let's go.
Yeah, Dead Lover's Lane. Yeah, dude.
And that's the song that came on, and I was like, bro, who are they? And fucking, yeah. And then you showed me fucking Wings of a Butterfly, and that was pretty much fucking it. Like, that is 100%
like,
my favorite song.
It wasn't until, like, they were putting out this Uneasy Listening Volume 1 and 2. And they would put on, like, remixes or different versions of their songs. There were, like, certain songs that I hadn't heard on their albums before, but they already had the songs. And I had kind of heard them from, like, again, CKY or Haggard.
Yeah.
Movie that, you know, Bam and them put out.
Yep.
Which had some of these songs in it. That was like, I'd never heard this song before. And then it was on Uneasy Listening Volume 2, which was a song called Again. And these, like, Again, Buried Alive by Love, Right Here in My Arms.
Yep.
Poison Girl, fucking Pretending. Dude, these songs are what, like, captured the essence of why I love him so much.
Right.
They hit you right where they're supposed to. It's like love songs, but they're not about, they're about, like, heartbreak, you know,
right.
And heartache every moment, you know, but it gives you this whole, like, new age but 80s feel. It's so fucking amazing. But on their Uneasy Listenings Volume 1, they remixed a song from their first album called It's All Tears.
Yeah.
And the way they did it was like a Richard Cheese, you know, like a Paul song, you know what I mean? And it was so crazy. And he just goes so off the beaten path with his fucking vocals at the end that it's just ridiculous. And I am a big fan. Because one, I thought it was a real cool way to do that song. And I don't care how big he went at the end. You know what I'm saying? That shit was so good. They're just they're an amazing band that made amazing music. And like I said to you before, I think that they knew when to call it quits, and they've done that, and they stopped, and I think it was time because they were losing what I loved them for, you know?
Yeah, one of the things that was definitely happening with them, which is what we were talking about with, you know, the criticism that fucking Disturbed got, was after a while, like, we loved them to death, but their songs, like, if you listen to one, it's like you've listened to all of them. And it was like, okay, I'm still down with the band, but, like, you know.
They changed in such a way. They changed in such a different way, and we're losing it. They were losing that feel, that essence. You know what I mean? What made them them? What made him him?
What made him him?
His Infernal Majesty. But I'm glad they didn't taint it, tarnish it, push it too far, ruin it, you know, because we can listen to all their shit forever and it'd be just amazing, because I will listen to their shit forever. I will always love that band. They're amazing. And I wasn't supposed to, like, I didn't know I was going to love the band so much. I had no idea. I judged a book by its cover. Didn't want nothing to do with them. Felt absolutely in love with the band. Became, like, top tier of, like, my favorite fucking bands of all time.
Right.
You know? So.
Like, for real, like, I remember seeing the kids who were him fans, and if you were a him fan, there's nothing wrong with you. but like seeing the kids, like it was, you know, the straight up 100% in your face, like I'm a fucking emo kid, you know, fucking super long black hair covering, you know, one eye and shit, fucking black nails and fucking, you know, super skinny as rail kids, but fucking, you know, I said butt fucking. but you know, but like this you know, this was back when, you know, like I was listening to nothing but like Metallica and fucking Black Sabbath, and if you would have, you know, thrown him at me, I would have been like, yeah, that's cute, you know. But like seriously though, fucking I gave him a chance and I was like, okay, I get it. All right.
And you want to know why we're pretty much not in the two-man boat here? Why there's so many people in the same boat with us? Went to the H.I.M concert, saw a guy in there, completely like one of those beer drinking in the fucking alleyway, listening to old death metal, long haired, you know, hey, what's up, man? What do you do? You know, he's like, listen, man, I know I don't look it. He's like, and I didn't know I was gonna love this band. He's like, and I don't even listen to this type of shit, but I love this band.
Hell yeah.
I'm a whore. He said, I'm a whore for him. I love this band. I don't mess with this music, but I love this shit. They're amazing. And I'm like, see, this is, and it was the same thing with me. It was the same thing with you. It's the same with so many of us that had no idea we were going to like this shit, because we're like originally weren't into that shit. Like new age glam band thing wasn't, you know what I'm saying? like that's what it looked like to me. So
bands that fell into that category for me were like, you know, oh my god, dude, I remember when everyone was fucking batshit crazy for My Chemical Romance, and I'm just like, why? You know, and still to this day, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's I can't name one single song from My Chemical Romance except for the fucking Black Parade, and that's because it was overplayed a billion times. But
words.
Yeah, I just
I'm not
like
okay.
Yeah, dude, but you know, him was definitely one of those bands that I would have lumped into, you know, bands like I said, My Chemical Romance and like Shadows Fall and shit like that. Like, I just wasn't with it. But then, like I said, fucking him opened up my eyes to fucking the 69 Eyes and Wednesday 13, and even Typo Negative. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like that dark romantic, like just. I don't know.
Oh, they were the best at it, dude. Those fucking songs are like full of fucking. They're just seduction at its best, dude. They captivate you. They're romantic. They're fucking dope, dude. But they're like the anti-romance, right? Because it's always about some fucked up or some sad shit, some dark shit. You know what I mean? But they did it such a it's so good.
It's good. It's so good. It's so good.
With My Chemical Romance, I'm just gonna add that I'm not a huge fan of My Chemical Romance. I didn't really want nothing to do with them, but Famous Last Words was the only song that I was like, that is a fucking great song. Because I ended up liking that song, made me like Helena and I'm Not Okay, but not like I like Famous Last Words. I just thought those songs were decent. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, they're pretty good. They're decent. I feel where this band was coming from. I don't like, but other than that, I don't really listen to them. And I was not a fan of the Black Parade, unless you're going to talk about the end of the very end of the song when it's their own. But to me, I'm like that whole biting queen thing.
Yeah.
And I know, like, it's not a popular opinion, but I'm like, you know, that whole queen thing at the beginning, just like Muse did. And I wasn't a fan when Muse did it either, but I was a big fan of Muse. Couple songs. Like, I'm a big when Muse is good, they're epically amazing.
Yeah.
But when they're fucking mediocre, they're just all right, whatever, man, you know. And when they started like when they started sounding like they're using shit from other people, that's when I have a problem, because what made you good was you. Why replace that with some regurgitated sound? Well, anyways, I didn't like the Black Parade. That wasn't a big, that wasn't the popular opinion. But
right.
yeah, I wasn't really into that. But yeah, that's a really popular song, and everyone fucking talks about it. And I'm like, that's not even their best song, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not their best song, but But I get where you're coming from with that shit. Bam also got me into the 69 Eyes.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Watching all that Bam, and I catch these bands. Also, Turbo Negro got me into that band. Can we just say R.I.P.?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rip to lead singer of Turbo Negro, man.
Man.
What was his age?
He was 40. Hold up.
Yep.
Hold up.
To go the time you need, man. We got to show just a little bit of respect. For sure.
Let's see.
But yeah, so he's the reason I know that band. Like, Bam's the reason for a lot of shit,
Right.
Bam's the reason for a lot of shit there. And him is an amazing band. I love them very, very much. But
okay. Former Turbo Negro singer Hank Von Hell died at 49 years old.
49.
So.
R.I.P. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
But yeah, like I feel like Bam was definitely responsible for him, Turbo Negro, Clutch, fucking CKY.
Was it the Moxie? The Where the Fuck is Santa?
Yeah.
The music video at the end was this band, and I'm pretty sure it was.
Isn't that where they went to like Finland or some shit looking for Santa?
Yeah,
they went to Hellsinki.
Yeah,
the Arctic Circle. That's where they went. And then come to find out, my man was like on a lunch break.
Deer piss and shit.
Yeah. Like they got all the way there, and there was a sign saying that Santa was like on vacation or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah, and Hanoi Rocks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
They got the music video on this thing, and it's not even on their fucking soundtrack for Where the Fuck is Santa. Come on, dude. I hate when I know something's on something, but I can't find it anywhere on the internet, which then makes me think I've fallen into a fucking parallel universe where this doesn't actually exist anymore.
I'm just talking shit.
I just wish I could remember the name of the song.
I have no idea. Dude, I haven't seen that in forever. Like I said, dude, there was a time where literally I think everyone was watching every move that Bam made.
100%.
Like fucking CKY, Jackass, Viva La Bam, fucking Bam's Unholy Union,
right.
Where the Hell is Santa, like everything the motherfucker did was gold at one point.
It is the Moxie this whole time. I found it on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. The whole time I was right. It was the Moxie, and the song was Step Down. Fantastic song. And honestly, if you like the type of music that Bam liked, you would like the song, because it is that shit, It's that same shit. It's really, really fucking great.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Bam's the reason why I know a bunch of shit. Bam's the reason for it all, man. He was a big part of my life, and Ryan Dunn, that shit fucked me up, dude, because I loved Random Hero, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
So that's gonna continue. So the 69 Eyes, let's just go right into that, right? This is gonna continue.
Yes, sir.
What was the first song you heard from the 69 Eyes?
The first song I heard from the 69 Eyes was, I think it was Brandon Lee.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, and I was like, so funny enough, it was back at a time where I was like really into The Crow. So there's a correlation there, but it has nothing to do with The Crow. But fucking, I was like, holy shit, they made a song about Brandon Lee, or like, I gotta listen to that. Like, fucking hell yeah. And totally down with that band. Like, all the way.
Don't Turn Your Back.
Yeah.
Was like the first song that I heard from them. It was the perfect one to show me, because I love Typo Negative. I loved Moonspell because of this fucking dark voice. And then you give me the 69 Eyes, and he is low, dude. He be getting low.
Super low.
And then Dance d'Amore.
Dance d'Amore, yep.
And you get these little catchy, fucking awesome songs that, and I don't know what to call the feel that they have, but you give me those type of songs right there, and you've got me hooked instantly. I love shit like that with them.
Like, I don't know, like, you could almost, like we were talking about earlier, you could totally see bands like him and the 69 Eyes, like, playing over fucking speakers at, like, a goth club or a vampire club, like, 100%. And, like, you could see people fucking, dancing to the shit. Like, I don't know, it's just, like, even though it's meant to be dark, it still makes you want to fucking move, man.
And again, there's romance to it. There's seduction to it, But with the 69 Eyes, the whole vampire thing was prevalent because they are the Hellsinki vampires.
Yeah.
And that was what they were going for. And they fucking nailed it. You know what I mean? Until you go and see them hanging out in the daylight. You're like, well, kind of breaks the immersion.
Right.
But the 69 Eyes are amazing. And you know what's crazy is the last song on the Devil's album, because that's the first album that I ended up buying, was Devil's, and then I ended up getting Blessed Be and blah 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 blah. The last song on there seemed very Christian to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was still at the time where if you gave me any band and then they had a song that was anywhere Christian, I was like, fuck! But I liked the song.
Yeah.
So I was really conflicted here. I'm like, I don't want to listen to it, but I like it.
Right.
And then I only listened to it when I was alone, so no one knew. But I was really like, okay, now I need to know, like, what the fuck is going on with this band? Like, they're vampires, they're dark, they're this. The album's called Devils, and then the last song sounds like a letter to God.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then I'm like, it's probably just a regional thing. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how dark or gothic or whatever, in their area, that's what they believe, man. And I'm pretty sure he's Christian. Yeah,
like there's so to go
maybe
way
not, I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, to go like way off. There's a song by there's a song by fucking ICP, and this is going way off, but to compare to what you said, like,
oh, I know all about that.
What
the Shangri-La shit.
So yeah, there's a part in one of their songs, like I had a friend years back who was huge fucking juggalo, was all into that shit, and he was like, I'm gonna show you something that's gonna blow your mind, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, like their songs to God, like shit, like.
Well, yeah, well, so one of their lines was, the fact is that we follow God, we've always been for him, and it's like, what?
You're a what?
You're a horror rap group, and what?
You're psychopathic serial killer clowns. What do you mean?
Like, yeah, but it's I don't know, crazy, man.
It is crazy because you're not expecting it. It's like,
yeah,
sorry, what? And then you're like, am I listening to this song wrong? Is he not? Is it not what it is? 'Cause I feel like it is, but it is. It's a really good song though.
Yeah,
they're solid, dude. Like, all their albums are great. And then I realized they had another singer earlier that I didn't like very much. It's not that he's not good, but that is not what I know 69 Eyes to be. I don't know them to be like a fucking late 70s, early 80s glam rock fucking band. Almost kind of the same music though. That type of music, but with like the dark, low feel is what they have now with Jyrki, but the original singer, it was just a completely fucking different band to me. I was not into it because I'm like, this is what I love. This wasn't that great for me.
Yeah.
If I listened to them the other way around, I probably would still say the same thing. I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call this. So we've got enough conversation, and I hope you guys have had a lot of fun. I know that I have. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an upload. In the future, we'll be doing live streams. You guys tell us what you want. We'll provide. You guys got any questions you want answered? We get enough questions, we'll make a response video. Yep, a Q&A, and we'll go from there. But guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us just casually talk. Because I think that's how we're going to keep the podcast from now on, is us casually talking, because we do the news all week long, and we can just be us and casually talk about the things that we love. That's just where it's at. So
really, and guys, please, like, don't be afraid to leave comments. Please leave comments.
Leave the comments.
If there's anything, like he said, if there's anything you want us to talk about, if there's anything you disagree with us on, if there's anything you agree with us on, let us know, man. Like, we want to talk to you guys too.
Yep.
Like, you are just as much a part of this as we are. Don't be afraid to leave those comments.
That's right. But this has been a Rock Hard Podcast. It's been fun and exciting.
Make sure you guys keep clicking here for all your rock and metal news. Make sure you guys tune into the podcast. We love doing it. We hope you love hearing it. Stay tuned. Stay metal. We'll see you guys again soon, man.
Peace.